In the previous episode, Aqua needed to produce a film about Ice life as part of his plan to take revenge on Hikaru Kamikai. Although he successfully recruited producer Kaburagi, they were still struggling to secure a distributor. Gotanda was growing increasingly anxious over the deadlock, but Kaburagi remained calm. He had expected this outcome, given how sensitive the film's subject matter was. Still, he knew some distributors specialized in controversial content, and he was confident good news would come soon. Sure enough, after persistent efforts, the two finally cleared this major hurdle. During a casual conversation, Kaburagi asked Gotanda why he insisted on making a film in an era where anyone with a smartphone could shoot and upload videos online. Gotanda replied that only a theatrical film could spark widespread public discourse and that no true creator wouldn't dream of leaving behind a work that endures for generations. Impressed by Gotanda's sincerity as an artist, Kaburagi expressed how glad he was to be working with him. Next came casting. Thanks to Kaburagi's connections, assembling a cast wasn't difficult except for one problem. Their original lead actress, Yura, had gone missing and had to be replaced. The next day after school, Kenna was playfully pestering Aqua with a silly question until a passerby overheard his name and immediately swarmed up. Realizing how famous Aqua had become, Kenna quickly dragged him back to their studio to avoid further attention. She then came up with a more intimate nickname for him, claiming it was just to prevent trouble and telling him not to think too much of it. But in that moment, she learned it from Aqua that he and Akane had already broken up, leaving her instantly regretful for missing what might have been a perfect opportunity. Still, when Aqua agreed to her new nickname, Kenna left the studio beaming, skipping all the way home. After she left, Emi teased Aqua for being unusually agreeable. While happy to see Kenna back to her cheerful self, Emi couldn't help but wonder if her earlier words had pushed Aqua to end things with Akane. To her surprise, Aqua coldly replied that it was entirely his own decision and that even his current friendliness toward Kenna was purely strategic, as it served his interests. From the moment he chose revenge, Aqua had resolved to use everything and everyone around him. Even Kenna was no exception. Time flew by, and soon it was Kenna's graduation day. Ruby came to congratulate her, and Kenna announced she had decided to dedicate her life to acting. Once Komachi's final performance ended this summer, she would officially leave the group to focus solely on her acting career. Though bittersweet, Ruby chose to support her friend's decision. Meanwhile, Gotanda and Kaburagi had nearly finalized the cast and were on their way to confirm details with Aqua when they ran into Ruby along the way. Learning that Ruby and Aqua were still estranged, Gotanda curiously asked if she'd heard about the DVDs. Seeing her completely puzzled expression, he realized Aqua intended to shoulder everything alone and quickly dropped the subject. Unbeknownst to Ruby, before her death, Ai had entrusted Gotanda with 2 DVDs, instructing him to give one to Aqua and one to Ruby on their 15th birthday. That very request had been Gotanda's motivation to complete this film. Staring at Ruby, whose face was almost identical to Ai's, Gotanda suddenly made a bold decision. He wanted Ruby to play Ai in the movie. Kaburagi strongly objected. From a commercial standpoint, casting the currently popular Shiranui made far more sense. Aqua agreed. Not only did the film need Shiranui's star power for promotion, but Ruby, who deeply opposed publicizing their family's past, would likely refuse the role outright. The next day after school, Shiranui approached Ruby alone. She revealed she'd heard about the casting dilemma. Based on industry norms, assumed she'd be chosen as the lead. But Shiranui believed roles should be earned through talent, not reputation. To settle it fairly, she proposed a private acting showdown between herself and Ruby. But Ruby wasn't the only one invited. Shiranui also called Akane, making the situation awkward, especially since Akane was Aqua's ex and Ruby's former sister-in-law. Akane, however, remained composed and even asked about Aqua's well-being. When told the purpose of the meeting, Akane initially said she didn't care who got the lead and prepared to leave until she heard the lead would share scenes with Aqua. Instantly changing her mind, she decided to stay. Shiranui then declared the theme of their audition lies. After delivering a brief demonstration, she concluded her performance. Now it was Ruby's turn. For her, who had lived her entire life shaped by secrets and half-truths, what truly was a lie. Subscribe to the channel to get instant updates on the latest developments in Oshi no Season 3.